Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon everyone. Okay, as you can see in the screen, the title of our presentation is House of Quality. Before we get started, I would like to quickly introduce our group members, starting from Azalan bin Ahmad. Next to him is Ahmad Shashi Qayyum bin Ahmad Sukri, Muhammad Shimir Sofyan bin Muhammad Yusuf, and myself, Mustafa Kamil bin Omran. We are from group 7. Okay, in this presentation, we will be covering these points starting with the introduction, discussion and comparison, best practices and advantages of application, conclusion, and the last point is references. Now we go to the first point, which is introduction. In this mini project, we choose Bousted Naval Shipyard Sdn Bhd to review on House of Quality system in this company. Bousted Naval Shipyard Sdn Bhd, originally known as Royal Malaysia Dockyard in 1984 and was corporatized in 1991. The company was taken over in 2005 by Bousted Holdings, and it is now known as Bousted Naval Shipyard Sdn Bhd. Strategically located within the proximity of Royal Malaysian Naval Base Lumut, Perak, it is a one-stop centre for defence and maritime needs for the nation, covering 46 hectares. Bousted has the capability in building various types of naval and commercial vessels such as patrol vessels, fast troop carriers, anchor handling tugs, offshore supply vessels, luxury yacht hotels, and vehicular ferries. Okay, let's now turn to background of quality system. First, House of Quality refers to a well-known process for product development that is inspired by customer desires for product or process development and anchored by the capabilities and resources of the organization seeking to meet those desires. Next, House of Quality is a part of a larger process called QFD, which stands for Quality Function Deployment. This represents a quality monitoring, a focus on the function of execution of a quality plan, and the application of resources for deployment of that plan. The House of Quality name comes from the very useful diagram used to make this plan that resembles a house, which we will dig into shortly. Okay, why QFD? QFD is to identify normal, expecting and exciting requirement, determine which are benefits and which are features requirement for underlying benefits, improve weak features to meet those benefits that are important and underperforming, and assure that internal operations related to those features actually deliver. Okay, let's now take a look at the Bousted Naval Shipyard Quality System model. We can see here, all of these elements focus completely on customer needs and requirements. We will go into details in the next slide. Under the leadership, we have direction setting, strategic focus, planning, alignment and empowerment, communication and involvement, and improvement and change agent. For customer focus, we have customer requirements, product or service requirements, customer communication, customer satisfaction, and customer focus activities. On system approach to management, the company has to manage a system in which any interest parties can understand and able to visualize how each function or process works. For process approach, to determine the processes needed and their application throughout the organization, determine the sequence and interaction of processes, determine the criteria and methods needed, ensure the availability of resources, and monitor, measure and analyze these processes. Next, under the involvement of people, we have top-down communication, responsibility and authority, training, empowerment, and involvement. For factual approach to decision making, we have management review, quality objective, use of data analysis, monitoring and measurement of production, and maintaining and improving the QMS. On continuous improvement, we have continuous improvement projects, corrective and preventive actions taken, and last one, on the mutual beneficial supplier relationship, we have supplier evaluation, outsourcing, information requirements, and improvement opportunities. Now we would like to move on to the discussion and comparison. Here we listed out the steps in House of Qualities. First, identify what are the exact needs and demands of the customer in the target market. Second, identify how the product will satisfy the targeted customer based on specific product characteristics. Third, identify relationship between how and what. Next, develop the importance of ratings, as House of Quality refers to using the customer importance ratings. Next, evaluate competing products or service as the main objectives. Lastly, determine the desirable technical attributes. Now we move to building of house quality. What every part of the house consists of. The left side of the house contains what or wants. Here customer requirements and needs as well as priorities are placed. The right side of the house is formed by competitive assessment. Here customer priorities are compared with appropriate marketplace offerings. The ethic of the house is formed by how technical design features and characteristics of the offering to meet the customer requirements. The roof of the house is represented by design relationships that describes the interrelationship between the design features. The foundation involves the target values as objective measurements for assessing each characteristic. Next, we go to the list of customer requirements, starting from qualifications, functionality, productivity, weight and dimension, compact and robust, maintenance, user-friendly and support facilities. In this slide, we take example for compressed air system in which a solution to a complete compressed air system in a naval ship should be analyzed the combination of all requirements to be served. Also for the weight and dimension, compact and robust, maintenance and user-friendly shall be considered in the list of customer requirements. Now we move to the list of technical descriptors. In this list, we have marine type, reciprocating type, capacity, integration, steel, aluminium and copper. For marine type that can withstand with sea condition, reciprocating type consume efficient productivity, capacity needed for all consumer in the ship, and integration between pipeline and equipment such as tube and hose. Also, material available for all equipment and accessories, material that's suitable for integration and material that used for connection and fitting. Next, on the interrelationship between how. Interrelationship between how is important to identify priority of each elements. For example, integration for compressed air system is more efficient to use aluminium or copper material rather than steel. Based on table here, it shows that interrelationship between technical descriptors or hows to prioritize which elements is very important for compressed air system selection. Rating from -9 to +9 is allocated for each element of integration. Thus, some elements need to be concerned according to highest rate. Highest rate for integration is suitable to use either aluminium or copper because of high pressure distributed along the system. Other than that, a possibility to use aluminium for marine type compressor is not recommended because of reliability. Okay, this figure shows the house of quality for compressed air system study. A rating scale has been selected for customer requirement list and technical descriptors list. There are 8 characteristics from customer that very important in order to select suitable compressed air system. From 8 characteristics from customer, technical descriptors came out with 7 elements to fulfill the requirements. Rating has been allocated from 1 to 10 for both characteristics. This is what we explained just now on the house of quality for compressed air system. This figure showed those 8 characteristics that are important to customers' requirements. By using rating from 1 to 10, some characteristics can be prioritized for selection. The rating indicates that functionality, productivity, and maintenance are contributed to highest factor in selection of compressed air system. Okay, let's move to the best practices and advantages of application. First, understanding customer desires. Many times customers need outside perspective to discover what they really need to build their product or process. The goal is to understand customers perhaps even better that they understand themselves to open their eyes to ideal solutions. Second, understanding customer priorities. During the interview stage, get to know the exact customer needs, but then break those needs down into prioritized parts in an effective manner. Then the weights are assigned to each house of quality based on what is most important to the customer's needs and requirements. How well each need is carefully met is ultimately how the customer will judge your solution's value in the market. Third, departmental buy-in. Quite often, disagreement or misunderstanding between various departments of a customer's organization can occur in relation to what is needed and required. In this case, the marketing department may think that a drone with trending features is the top priority, but the engineering department may think that renovation of the problematic part is the top priority. The process helps to create a plan that addresses all the true priorities and to which all departments can agree upon. Next, translate customer desires into goal and technicalities. This is at the heart of the QFD process, where the recorded desires of the customer are ranked based on the priority and specific process and where resource planning takes place. Next, provide structure. It is quite easy for customers to jump all over the place stating what they desire and are tossing out the ideas. But at the end of the day, our role is to home in on what they want and provide a logical, executable, and a traceable structure to organize their ideas. The last one, allocate resources. Whether developing a physical product or creating the process for a customer, effective resources are required to do the same. Human resources, machinery, computer systems, construction materials, along with the disposable materials and more must be accounted for. Okay, now have a look on the advantages of HOQ. Start with reduce the time required for the planning process, focuses completely on customer needs and requirements, reduce design changes and alterations, improved house of quality of the products, high customer satisfaction, decrease design and manufacture costs and overheads, reduce time to market the product, helps in prioritizing various design parameters, and aids in benchmarking the processes. As a conclusion, one of the tools in total quality management can be used to meet customer satisfaction in quality functional deployment. It is strongly recommended that the result of QFD can be utilized in order to link between customer requirement and technical point of view. Okay, that's all. Thank you.